Are Uber drivers guides or are we observers? Or maybe are we both? So I think we're guides to some extent because we know how to navigate, the city. We know the shortcuts around town. It's funny when a lot of the passengers try to tell me which direction to go. I used to get offended because I'm kind of like, hello, I'm a driver. I've got a map and everything. But now I just kind of let them decide whatever they want. I'll go wherever they want. It doesn't matter to me. We are guides because we have local knowledge, especially when people are flying into our cities and we pick them up at the airport. We, know the sporting teams, the events, maybe some great restaurants and some other things to guide the passengers. Maybe we're also guides in the sense that we're guiding our passengers through the experience of being a passenger. We set up our car with music and cleanliness. We're trying to guide them through how to use the app sometimes. We're guides along those ways. And of course, we're guides in the sense that we might have phone chargers or we help with the luggage. Sometimes if they need to add a stop, we'll do that. So yeah, we're definitely guides of some kind. The thing that really intrigues me though is the fact that we're also observers. We collect a kaleidoscope stories. If you've even done just like 100 rides, you know what I mean. Every day we see passengers of all different types going to work, going to bars, going to the airport, coming home from those places, people of all races and the multitude of genders that are out there. We see it all. Religions, languages, you name it, and in different emotional states. And because of the nature of this environment, the environment being they're in our car, it's quieter. They don't think they're ever going to see us again, so there's a level of anonymity to it. We might get some really good stories out of it. We're also observers of like our city because we're out and about. We see it all. And, when there's like a news story sometimes in the city, I'll remember, oh, I saw that ambulance going there or whatever it might be. You can kind of get the overall vibe of your city that you just don't get when you're going to and from work, if you're working in an office or whatever else. But when you're out driving around and the randomness to some extent of where we go, you kind of get a feel for different neighborhoods and just how different parts of the city operate. And of course, because so many of our passengers are from so many different walks of life, we learn a lot about cultures. A great example for me is that because I drive in college towns, I tend to take a lot more Chinese people, at least like interact with them on a regular basis. And great culture, great people. And I've learned to say a few things in Chinese just to connect and be able to communicate well. Even more so, you learn just how different cultures operate. I don't want to get into the details because it might be offensive to other people, but definitely different people from different cultures do things differently. And that's okay. That's okay. The thing that probably stands out to me the most, though, is this idea of being a silent, maybe even a little bit of a vocal supporter, an observer to our passengers in some very intimate moments. It's inevitable that you're going to pick up somebody that's going through a breakup, or I've picked up people at the hospital and there's a tragedy happening and they're sad and they're crying, or you get somebody who might be extremely happy and they're talking on the phone with somebody, and those intimate emotions when people are arguing maybe, or maybe they're just sitting in quiet solitude, but you and I both know they're looking out the window and maybe there's just this thing of humanity where we kind of, we're there. We're in the same space. We're sharing that moment with them. And we get a piece of that too. So we're definitely observers along those lines. And it's where these worlds of being an observer and a guide kind of collide, and we're both. It's this thing where there's like the physical and emotional journeys that our passengers are on. And when we're the observer, it's just taking place and we can be a part of that emotion, just sensing it. But many times the passenger opens up and they talk to us, they ask us our opinion. And it's tough, right? Because I'm not a pro. I don't know how to handle a breakup. I've been married for 26 years. But I think you and I both know that with grace and dignity, we can, be a supportive person, even for just a 5-minute ride. We're basically in this dynamic interaction that I think is harder than most people realize, because it's if we're talking, if we're in this communication where we're both guiding and we're trying to observe, instead of saying the word observe, listen, it's really difficult, because listening is much more than just hearing. There's the nonverbal communication, and we can't see our passenger back there. I mean, I might be able to look in the mirror and catch glimpses of them, but a lot of the times the communication is, coming at me and I can hear them. Sometimes I can hear, basically the way they use inflections in their voice, or maybe they breathe a certain way. If you're just trying to get in tune with your passenger to be a good guide and an observer. And to me, observing is definitely a sense of seeing, but listening. And I think you and I, as Uber drivers, as Lyft drivers, we become really good listeners. This idea of knowing to let somebody get it all out, they're saying something, they just start to talk, and you just have to hear, and you nod, and they could see you nod, or you might, something like that. But it's this observing humans doing amazing, interesting, weird, cool, whatever stuff every single day. That's what it's like as an Uber driver. That's why we're both guides and observers. I don't know, what do you think? I created this channel, Tip You in the App and the Daily Drive, as a way to connect with my fellow drivers, to connect with passengers too. I'm hoping that this facilitates a deep and more meaningful conversation. If you're interested in engaging in that conversation, you can definitely like and subscribe and that. But you can also join the Facebook group. If you're a driver and I have a Facebook group, I'll leave a link in the description below. But, drivers out there connecting with each other and sharing advice and tips. It's called Tip You in the App, the Facebook group. Please, again, like I say, like, subscribe. It helps grow this channel. It really encourages me to continue to produce content. If there's something else you'd like for me to produce, let me know. My name is Levi Spires, and this is Tip You in the App. Be well, be safe. Drive your way in 2025. Bye.